Welcome to Beam 2 Rights and Responsibilities of the AQA GCSE Citizenship course. Today we're looking at universal human rights. What are the key international agreements and treaties that protect our human rights? In the previous video you would have looked at the key words to remember, and you would have also looked at the history of human rights. In this video you're going to be looking at three case studies: the Hirst case, Abu Qatada and whole life sentences. Hirst v UK is a case that ended in 2005. Hirst was a prisoner who took the UK to court for not allowing prisoners to vote. He claimed this is a violation of human rights, right to participate in a democracy. He took the case through the appeal system in the UK and then to the European Court of Human Rights, after it was rejected by the Supreme Court. The European Court of Human Rights said that this was a breach of prisoners' human rights. Since then, the UK Parliament has continued to refuse to accept the ruling and have voted against any prisoners getting the right to vote. However, some European countries have allowed their prisoners to vote and have implemented rules where if a prisoner is imprisoned for a less serious crime and therefore have a shorter sentence, they are then given the opportunity to vote. This is a case that you can use in both Paper 2 and Paper 1. You can explore this case when looking at a human rights question in the Rights and Responsibilities section of Paper 2. Or you can explore this as part of Paper 1, Politics and Participation, when looking at the power of Parliament and the right to vote. The second case study explores the case of Abu Qatada. He was a radicalised Islamic extremist who the UK had wanted to deport to Jordan in 2012, as he was inciting hate speech, encouraging terrorist attacks and attempting to radicalise others. He claimed that his human rights to family life, freedom from torture and right to fair trial would be violated, as he would not see his family as they lived in the UK. And in Jordan he would have been tortured for evidence, meaning he would not have a fair trial, and the absolute right of freedom from torture would be taken away from him. This was rejected through to the Supreme Court, but the European Court of Human Rights agreed with him and blocked his deportation. The UK was forced to agree a new treaty with Jordan that guaranteed a fair trial for Abu Qatada. The new treaty eventually convinced the European Court of Human Rights and he was deported in July 2013. Like Hirst, this is another case that shows the power that the European Court of Human Rights has when human rights cases are brought to trial. Like Hirst, it's another controversial case and has led to a lot of people believing that the UK should abolish the Human Rights Act and create a British Bill of Rights that fits the needs and values of British people. The third case that we're going to look at is the whole life prison sentences case. The whole life prison sentences and human rights case concern the complaint by a man serving a whole life sentence for the murder of 3 members of a family and the rape of another. He said that the whole life sentence amounted to torture and inhumane degrading treatment, as he had no hope of release, and there are no reviews of his progress. However, the European Court of Human Rights ruled that the whole life sentences, especially for those who commit serious crimes such as murder, does not amount to a violation of human rights. This is because this type of sentence takes detailed consideration before a choice like that is made. So the law on whole life sentences would have been debated and discussed in Parliament and would have finally been agreed upon by elected MPs who represent the voice of the people. Furthermore, everyone has the right to appeal their decision. This means that an individual can appeal the decision on a number of occasions if they believe that the decision is wrong, unfair, a mistake, or unjust. This individual took up all of his appeals, and the argument was that therefore this could not constitute torture because everyone has a right to appeal anyway. You've just finished looking at the case studies Hirst, Abu Qatada and whole life sentences. In the next video you'll be exploring the British Bill of Rights and why the government wants to scrap the Human Rights Act.